Hold on, wait, what the f does this even mean? Maybe this is their strategy. Add in a main character for a game that's really controversial, and that way it'll distract you from the fact that you're trying to get people to spend $130 for their f***ing game. Asmongold called out Assassin's Creed Shadows for their pricing. It's like the leftist meme. Can somebody break this one down for me? No one complains about cultural appropriation when it's white people. Okay, I don't think I've seen all these movies or shows, but like, I'm guessing this is probably a black guy in Shogun, huh? I'm guessing. For the samurai movie, The Last Samurai, that was the whole point, right? Like, the movie is about a white guy that gets captured. It's not like they just have a white samurai, right? That's the point of the movie. No, it's AC. Oh, is this Armored Core? Oh, Assassin's Creed. Oh, this is the Assassin's Creed. Okay, I don't know. I don't know what the these two are. I don't know. Fuck, video games look like real life. It's from the new Assassin's Creed game. The Black Samurai existed. I've read somewhere over that, because it happened a lot with the Shogun. People got mad about and apparently there were some samurai that, I don't know where the they came from. I don't know. And I also don't really give a Actually, I'll defend the racists for this one time, okay? And I think if you care about this a lot, you probably are racist. But I'll give you the non-racist defense. Actually, for Assassin's Creed, don't they actually try really, really hard to be to be like accurate historically? I've never played a single one of the games, but I feel like I watched. Oh, people are saying no. Oh, okay, maybe it doesn't matter at all then. Never mind. I'm assuming that because I feel like I watched a video, or maybe I read a Reddit post where apparently in Assassin's Creed they tried they modeled the inside of the what was that big church that burned down in France? What am I thinking of? My God, the Notre Dame. Apparently they like modeled the inside of this like so much that the when they had to go and rebuild it or rebuild parts of it after the fire, they were able to use some of the footage that the robots had captured for the Assassin's Creed. Is that true, or is this just like a Reddit meme that wasn't true at all? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Did I make this up? Everybody's retarded. The environments are incredibly accurate. The story is not. They're very accurate with architecture, but history and characters not so much. Okay.
Talked about this a little early, but it is fascinating.
Wait, they are coping. Assassin's Creed is some of the most historically accurate set pieces. Okay, so the setting and everything is really accurate, but then they like add or invent or be flexible or creative with the stories, I guess.
A video game, Assassin's Creed 3D, that maps of Notre Dame in enormous detail of the cathedral. This was 2 years in the making, and apparently is so impressive that those who administer and are in charge of the cathedral itself keep copies of it on hand because they find it to be a reference point. The Game World News Entertainment host, Tian Wang, says it's obviously going to be very helpful in trying to retrace what might have been there and what isn't there or they can't account for. The detail on this game, by almost all accounts, Dan, is remarkable. Do you know much about it?
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
What is this thing? This is awesome. This looks like something I would wear. What is this thing? Is he an Assassin's Creed?
You know, Assassin's Creed Unity was a game that was based during the French Revolution, and all of the games in the Assassin's Creed series are known for creating things.
It is historically accurate. Is that Yusuke? Yasuke was a real samurai. It's interesting to see people call it woke, seeing that it began being developed 10 years ago. Okay, this is just a cardigan. Oh.
With a lot of historical accuracy. So the senior artist for this game, Carolyn Muse.
It's pronounced Yasuke? Okay.
Like you said, she took about 2 years to create Notre Dame.
Please collab with this guy to dress you. Dye workwear. Did I read so many threads by this guy? I'm obsessed with his... He gives like a really interesting breakdown of... Although I feel like, as a person that knows nothing about fashion whatsoever, I feel like this guy leans really hard into like cultural messaging when it comes to clothing. I don't know how much that matters for the average person or how important it is, but his threads of... where he does like the animals. I don't know why. There's a lot of interesting content. I think he used is it the Hugo Boss bear? And then he does sometimes like Kermit the Frog. Yeah, it's just very, very interesting threads talking about fashion. Where he goes through and he talks about like why different things work, why things don't work. This thread was okay. I didn't like it. Well, I mean, it was fine. The Kermit the Frog one was really interesting, I thought, but here, follow him if you want. Oh, Piers Morgan. That was the one, I think. This guy puts way more work into thinking about fashion or clothes than I could have ever imagined, but... Just curious, and what is your opinion / definition on of propaganda? I can't find a concrete definition due to my studies. I don't know. It depends on. I would just ask a person how they're using it. Some people would just say propaganda is just when you only say things that are good about a particular state. Other people might say propaganda is when you're like trying to like hype up a state. Other people say propaganda is blatantly lying. I don't know. It just depends on. I don't know. Like anybody. Like some people will say, for instance, like Top Gun is propaganda for the military, but they're not like telling a factually true thing about the military. They're not lying. They're just like making it look cool. Other people will say if the State Department lies about something, that's propaganda. Other people will say, I don't know, just it's whatever. My teacher said,
"Oh fuck, this sucks."
Any form of political commentary is propaganda, and propaganda can be good. I mean, like you could argue that, but then keep in mind that at some point there's two things to be aware of. One is when you broaden something so much, then it basically becomes worthless, right? Words only exist to draw distinctions between things. Right? So if everything political is propaganda, then everything is propaganda. Then there's no point in having the word propaganda. We would just say political. But also, that's one thing. And then the second thing to be aware of is propaganda is a very normatively negatively loaded word. That when people say propaganda, there's a lot of negative shit that's coming up in relation to that word, right? So if you call something propaganda, it's usually a pejorative or a negative thing to describe it, right? It's a bit of a broad question, but why particularly do you think so many women are drawn to the more polarizing political ideologies? The amount of diehard female BLM supporters and Palestine slurp suckers seems to be disproportionately female, and even potentially going back to the predominantly female-heavy hippie movements around the Vietnam War. I feel like it could have something to do with females generally having higher agreeableness, but I'm not entirely certain. Peppo G. I don't know the answer to this. If I had to guess, my guess is going to be that men and women are probably somewhat similar in their political radicalization, but that when you're looking at like college campuses and stuff, I think that aren't they overwhelmingly women? So one, I say overwhelmingly, but like if you're already 2/3 women and 1/3 men, well now you've got that proportion of people. But then you also have to factor in that I think women gravitate more towards softer sciences than men. And my guess is if you go to these protests, it's probably more soft science people than hard science people. My guess is if you go into a crowd, you're going to find more humanitarian majors than you are going to find like engineers. And so that's also going to select more for women. So that would be my guess for at least on college campuses, why you've got like those two massive selection filters. Are women observed to be more cliquey? I don't know. I hear people say that sometimes, but I find it hard to believe. But it's hard anecdotally, like not to be an asshole, but like most people are sheep, men included. So I don't know. Yeah. Destiny, by your standards, would you call yourself obsessed too? Because Hassan never deep dives into your content like this. I don't usually call people obsessed, or if I do, it's like a meme. But like I think when people call people obsessed, they just do that to like get rid of valid criticism. It's an easy way to like shoo somebody off. Like obsessed, like if Hassan is the largest political streamer on the internet, and I'm one of the largest political streamers on the internet, it's going to make sense that there's going to be a lot of overlap in terms of us talking about each other's positions. When you say Hassan never deep dives into your content, well, I mean, I deep dive because when I'm criticizing somebody, I want to have a good understanding of what they're saying so that I can attack the strongest version of their argument. It doesn't make any sense to watch a 30-second clip and then make a 20-minute video off of that. Like, I'd rather know, like, well, what exactly is. That's why we watch long-form content here. Also, I'm streaming for 8 hours a day, ideally. So, like, there's no excuse to watch a 30-second clip. We've got time.